Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. This is Keithy Broom and my co-host, Claudia Eifert. This is the first time. It's like a television show. It's like breakfast TV in Sydney or the evening news, Claudia.
By the way, where is your microphone?
There it is there. It's one of these ones on
the Bitcoin one.
Oh, the Bitcoin one. I've got that in my, that doesn't work. That's only for my phone. But, I'll show people the Bitcoin microphone because this won't work, but it's good to show the Bitcoin microphone just so everyone's seen this anyway. I just plug that into my phone. One of our members actually said, where did you get this? So he's very interested to purchase one of these. I've showed him how to do that, but I'll leave that there for
it's a patented product, isn't it, Keithy?
Patented product. Well, not really, Bill, unless someone catches me. That's right. It's a big welcome to you, Bill. Now you're in Sydney as well as us. We're having a fantastic couple of days. We had a great few days in Melbourne. It was freezing cold, but now we're up in Sydney. It's warming up. Then we're heading to Brisbane, where I live, and then the Gold Coast, where Paul lives. So first off, we'll say good day to you, Paul, up on the Gold Coast. It's quite strange being down here, 1,000 kilometres away from you. So how are you travelling, mate? All right?
Yeah, I'm loving your co-host, Keithy. This is really, really wonderful. Bitcoin television with Swissquote Global interacting. It's sensational. Yeah. And Bill, how good's this?
That's right. You've got the trifecta, mate.
Got the trifecta. We're blessed to have them all here in Australia. All here in Australia. Yeah.
It is, and it's we're very close to getting up to the Gold Coast now. We've got the venue sorted out, and we've got quite a few people coming. So it is going to be exciting up on the Gold Coast. And what's the weather like? Because it was freezing in Melbourne for us. What's it like up the Gold Coast, Paul?
Beautiful one day, perfect the next. 23 degrees, just hop out of bed. You wouldn't believe this morning, but out front of my window from the bedroom, a balloon came down. It must have run out of gas or whatever. And we had two other big balloons that came over to give them assistance. That was pretty spectacular to see.
Oh, you mean like a hot air balloon?
The big hot air balloons, yeah. Air Asia was on one of them, and the other one was Pancake on the Rocks, and the other one, it was in the grass. We couldn't see what the name of it was, but yeah, pretty spectacular.
Hey, you've just given me an idea, Paul. Why don't we put Swissquote Global on one of those air balloons? Bill, let's talk about that when we're up on the Gold Coast. What do you reckon, Paul?
What a great idea. Yeah.
On a big hot air balloon.
I know where there is one. It's not up in the air, but it's on the ground, and people can still go past it and see it.
Wow, something. I should have introduced my co-host, the lovely Claudia Eifert, from all the way from Germany. How are you, Claudia?
Very well. No, having some fun. It's great to be here.
How did you enjoy Melbourne? It was a little bit cool, but I know you left the summertime in Germany and you've come to Australia, especially Melbourne. It's pretty cold down there. How did you?
Yeah, you're quite lucky that I came here because it's 35 degrees in Germany. And, you know, we don't have so often so nice weather. So to go to freezing cold Melbourne, no, it's nice. It's good. It's good.
We had the right sort of jackets, but I did notice with Claudia's, and this would be for our female members, that Claudia's outfits didn't reflect the local outfits because everyone in Melbourne wears black because it's so cold, and I guess the dark colours absorb the heat if there's any down there. But Claudia certainly stood out from everybody else with her big fur outfits and all bright colours. She even went to the football with pink leotards and pink boots on, ladies and gentlemen. It was the general public, the AFL public down there in Melbourne, where I could see, I was walking like next to Claudia, and all these people going, "What? What's that? What's going on there?" So
they weren't watching the game.
Yeah, that's right. They weren't watching the game. And just on that, Bill, it's a big welcome to you. Now we've had some great few days down in Melbourne. We've arrived in Sydney here, and looking forward to a big meeting tomorrow. I just saw the meeting room we've got organised. That's awesome, the glass meeting room. That's fantastic, Bill.
Yeah, it's great. Well, first of all, it's great to have you come down from Brisbane, Keithy, down to Melbourne and travel up to Sydney with us, and then, of course, to the Gold Coast to meet up with Paul, and then of course our Brisbane meeting, and to have Claudia back in Australia is also absolutely fantastic. And our meeting Saturday, well, I mean, it's great to be here. One is I can catch up with my family. Two is it's great to be, face to face with our members who have been with us for so many years. I mean, some of them go back when we get up towards Brisbane way. I think Shirley's been with us, and Bernd, he's been with us for over 10 years. So, we've got members been around us for a long, long, long time. So it's great to be able to spend one-on-one time with them.
Yeah, it is, mate. Now, we've got quite a few people coming tomorrow, quite a few new people, which is good. They're pretty excited to learn about, obviously, the history of the company, but more so the opportunities going forward next 12 months to 2 years of what the plan is. We talked to the people in Melbourne about the reshaping of the website and the new plugins that we've got coming, the cryptocurrency contracts, the new ones, and also the ICOs. Now, I know they're not ready to go, and you've got a lot of technical stuff to get them finalised. So I know you can touch on one or two things. So I might just throw to you, Bill, and maybe give us a bit of the members a little bit of up-to-date information of what's going on, the stuff that you can tell us.
Well, first of all, I suppose let's back up a little bit and just touch where we are. I mean, if we back up, go over the last, the last few months, the last year of, I suppose, Bitcoin, it's been one awesome ride. But right now, it's in a bit of a consolidation phase. People have gone from earning some great income to being a bit of a sideways sort of market, but they're still mining for Bitcoin. But if you're mining to generate cash flow, people would have seen a bit of a reduction in that. But of course, you're still mining for Bitcoin. And so there is a bit of a price breakout, and we've seen a bit of a rally in the Bitcoin price. It's fantastic. Of course, we'd love to see that to increase, but it's going to take a bit of time, and no one really knows when that will actually be. Although a lot of the professionals are very bullish on it, there's no crystal ball to guarantee that's going to be the case. That's why I also love the new contracts, Keithy, is that none of our contracts have absolutely failed, and we actually saw that. What was Bitfury, wasn't that? What's the name of the company? Hashflare. They closed out all of their accounts in the last 24 hours. So, I mean, that's a big deal. That is a major, major, major deal, and that's pretty clear because if you look where the Bitcoin US dollar exchange rate is right now, most of these companies' maintenance fees are up around 34, maybe 35, 36 cents, and they're not just making money. So, for them to close that, I mean, a lot of people have lost a lot of money there, which is of course, we all know the risk of it, of course, but no one likes to actually see that. But that's where Genesis Mining, in business, I know Paul's been in business a long time. I know you've been in business a long time too, Keithy, and also Claudia, of course, to a lesser extent, but she's been an entrepreneur and in business for a long time. It's important, who your business partners are, And if you look at the pillars that we have, you look at our gold pillar, we have Argo Horias, which is certainly a strong hallmark, a trusted hallmark. We have our gold and silver, who's certifying our gold and silver. Where it's stored, Loomis International, a London Bullion Market accredited storage facility, another strong hallmark. You look at our mining, a strong hallmark of Genesis Mining and their maintenance fees. When we started with them in 2016, they were also around 34, 35 cents. And we started with them in November 2016, and by the 14th of December 2016, they reduced that to 28 cents, and they've been down to 28 cents pretty much ever since, up until the last months, when they've changed the contracts to, of course, a fixed term contract, which is fixed for 60 months, and it's only 14 cents. And of course, if it's paying out 35 cents at the moment, well, 14 cents maintenance fee, and you're showing a daily payout of 36 or 37 cents. It's not a bad sort of return on the new contracts, and it's a great thing to know that you've got 60 months of mining for Bitcoin. And what you're really doing is you're mining for another currency. Bitcoin is another currency, so we all like to believe and want to, and we believe in the greater adoption of Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer payment system. And Bitcoin does break out on the upside, and its value against US dollar does increase. We'll all do well out of it. But I mine for Bitcoin because I want to diversify into another currency, and Bitcoin is an important currency for me to own. I own US dollars, I own Swiss francs, I own euro, I own Australian dollars because I'm here, of course, and I'm Australian. But I own gold, I own silver, but I see Bitcoin as also an important part of the diversification in this changing probably payment system in the digital world in one sense. And Bitcoin is certainly a dominator there. So to me, that's important. And it's also very important that we acknowledge the risks associated with it. Things do change, you know. But Bitcoin has never failed. Bitcoin in itself has never, ever failed. Wallets have. But I think before we get onto the ICO, I just wanted to touch on this. But I think what Genesis Mining, this is why it's important to be with a strong, strategic, transparent partner, be able to come out with mining contracts from 28 cents down to 14 cents, just shows the development and the advantage they have over other players in the marketplace. If their cost of operation due to their efficiency, the technologies, the buying power, many factors. Buying power when it comes to buying rigs, buying power when it comes to buying a huge amount of bulk electricity supply, etc. So that's a big thing. The other major hallmark that we're going to be having with our ICO, because our ICO is going to be, there's primarily, there's going to be two tokens. One's going to be a gold-backed token, silver-backed token, ERC223. That's no problem. That's just going to be a blockchain, Ethereum, a blockchain validated transaction for your gold and silver. So that's fantastic, and that's actually nearly complete. Our engineers are working on that. But the other one is going to be an ERC223 security token. It's going to be a fully regulated token, and that's also important. That'll give us a strong hallmark. So every module that our members have will be backed by a strong hallmark, and we haven't gone live with this yet. One is because we're building a huge new back end for it, engineering a huge back end. But secondly, we want to make sure it's fully regulated, because then it will be truly unique. Last year, I think there was nearly $6 billion raised in new ICOs, and over half of them have already failed. Well, with our asset-backed token, and the white paper, everyone will get a copy of the white paper. You'll see the technologies that we have when it comes to, obviously, the mining that we'll be doing, not just crypto mining, but also physical precious metal mining with very specific technology. All the value and profits from that will go into back the actual security token, which means it'll give value to the security token, which hopefully we would expect with revenues would increase the value. And of course, we want to be able to establish this, that it's going to be a great benefit to our members. But that's primarily all I can say at this time. But I know you've read some of the white paper, Keithy. I know that you've seen some of the names behind it, which is just not me. Some of the engineers and different things have been in this industry for 30 to 40 years. So it's pretty exciting. That's still a couple of months away, I would say. The white paper will come out sooner, but before we go live with the new back end, which has been engineered right now, that's probably going to be September. Which is coming around pretty fast. So there's certainly a lot for us to do right now.
Yeah, a bit of an understatement what you said there, Bill. That we're adding another pillar. It's a very, very exciting extension of the business to be able to have the gold, silver, cryptocurrency, ICOs, and our affiliate program, 5 pillars under the one roof. I know you're trying to hold your emotions back, but what's coming up within 6 months from now is electric. That's the only way I can describe it.
Well, it's a game changer, actually, Keithy. I believe it's a game changer. Seeing what's going out in the world. I mean, it certainly would have been easier last year in the market, but the market's changed. But that's actually, in one sense, it's actually good. It's actually good because when things are hot, people throw money without even thinking. The market's changed right now. People should do the due diligence. People should read the white paper. People should feel, is this for me? Is this something that I can benefit from? Because the whole idea is we want people to benefit. And that's why it's really important that we have it fully regulated, and also that we have our strategic partners are well qualified to do what they're doing in providing these new services that we'll be adding to Swiss Gold Global. But you're right, it's going to be a very unique platform, a global platform, where we're bringing primarily 5 different elements under the one roof, where people can generate cash flow. And again, it's designed that people can get in and don't have to really put themselves at risk. Obviously, they've got to do something to get engaged, but you don't have to go beyond your means, which is actually really important.
That's correct. You got anything to add, co-host Claudia, about what's coming up? I'm getting quite excited. We can't say a lot about the ICOs, but we still have the other 4 pillars. When we introduce and add on the additional pillar and the rebranding and the brand new website, you've seen the back of the website. What feeling have you got? You've been in the business 10 years. It's quite interesting to get your feedback that been in the business that's been evolving, strong for 10 years. And now we've got a new concept in the cryptocurrency that's all flowing along. Now we're updating the website, rebranding. We've got the ICOs coming on, and the affiliate side of the business will become easier and more exciting for everyone. How do you see the next 6 months for people coming along?
With microphone or without?
Without. Whatever you like.
I like it now.
Oh, you do? You like the microphone?
I'm fancying it now. Yeah. What happened? No, of course. I mean, I'm really, really excited. It's going to be very, very different to everything we have experienced before and everything we have had before. Basically, it's a very, very different level. It's a total new level which we're going to have there. And so I'm really excited about that. I believe we can serve a lot of people with that. Again, it's as Bill said, you've got to do your due diligence, and I expect we're going to do a lot of trainings on that so that people understand what they get involved in. But it's I mean, we try to, or Bill, of course, with his team, they try to create a system which makes it very easy and very duplicatable. That's the question for you to do the business, duplicatable. A system, simple, that a 9-year-old can understand it. So this should be the outcome of that. But then as well, of course, with the ICO, just by having such a product it's just a few levels up to basically most of the other ICOs which you have there. I mean, there are some companies out there which claim or say they have some gold ICOs out there, but this will be a different one and has really not so much in such to do with. So I'm really excited about the project. And yes, the back office will be a different back end, which is really great. Not those dark colors, and very much easier to understand, and so on. So that was very, very well needed, and I'm happy to have that now. Actually, it's almost there. It's almost finished. I've seen it, which is great. So yeah, I'm excited. But I can't share my excitement too much either because I'm German. You know, we are not getting so emotional.
I think the German men don't get emotional. The girls, okay. I think. They're a little bit more out there, wearing pink at the football, for example. Now, if anyone's watching, we've got quite a few people watching tonight, which is fantastic. Just type your questions in. While you've got Bill and Claudia on the Hangout right now, type your questions in. Doesn't matter what it is. Some things they'll be able to tell you, some things maybe they can't expose right now. But yes, all the stuff that you've told me about. It's a great thing about these events, folks, that you get to meet Claudia, you get to meet Bill face to face. You ask questions. Like in Melbourne, there was non-stop questions for Bill and Claudia. People want to know what they're just stopping and telling the story. Well, what about this and what about that? So people coming along tomorrow night to Sydney, just be open and, Bill and Claudia are really down-to-earth people. They're just so down-to-earth, and their main mantra is to help people. The more people they help through Swiss Gold Global, then the better their lifestyle becomes. So they just have to help thousands of people. They've been doing it for 10 years. So when you come tomorrow, just be prepared to ask as many questions you like. And I know in Brisbane, you Queenslanders up there, it's going to be a massive group up there. So there'll be lots and lots of people, lots and lots of questions. Now, Paul, I'll throw to you now, mate. There's going to be quite a few on the Gold Coast. Not a great deal of numbers that we thought, but I'm sure there'll be a couple of new people coming because I've had messages that, but certainly they'll be asking questions too.
Well, we do. But it's the cryptocurrency side of the business is what the majority of the people on the Gold Coast really want to get a feel for. And we've been trying to educate them now for, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, I guess. So we do hope that we will get a number of people to come along and ask the questions that Swiss Gold Global can answer and get them involved.
That's exactly right, mate. The price today has just jumped, as you know. I'll just go to the other screen, and it's 7,697. So call it 7,700 American. That's up 3.4%. So as Bill said before, we want it like a steady rise, just slowly moving upwards. Not a great rush, just building slowly. 2 or 3% a day would be awesome to get to that 8 or 9 or 10,000. All our regular contracts that we have at 28 cents per terahash will be paying out, and anyone who's bought the new ones, there's quite a few people have bought the new ones. I must say that Genesis is sold out, but we still have contracts. Do we have Dash? Is that available?
I'm not sure. Bill, do we have Dash? Do we have Dash back?
Don't you love being put on the spot? No, we don't right now. However, that has been put to Genesis Mining, our engineers, and we're just waiting for them to respond. It's going to depend on the supply availability of that particular algorithm, but we have requested that, and we're just waiting for a response from them.
Okay. But we still got Bitcoin, I know, Bill.
Yeah, so, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there a sort of a good supply for us members?
Well, no one ever knows. This is the whole point, Keithy, is that, you can have a great supply one moment, the next moment someone comes through the door with a very large purchase, and the supply is diminished or completely wiped out. We've been very fortunate with Genesis Mining, where they've given us preferential treatment in one sense because they trust us, and they've even turned off to their own members and haven't supplied their own members through their own supply, but they've allowed us to be able to supply on their behalf, which is absolutely great. So, no, at the moment we have the Bitcoin 14-cent maintenance fee, 5-year fixed term mining, which I think is a fantastic contract. A lot of demand for that. How long it will last, I don't know. But, my call with Genesis Mining is obviously we're dealing a lot with Genesis Mining. We had calls with them maybe 2 weeks ago. Now we're talking about, obviously, we want to do a mining farm. And, of course, the question comes up, do you still invest in mining? Because when you look at that video of myself, even Claudia was there as well in Iceland, and Iceland is a small mining farm compared to the other ones in Sweden and elsewhere. You're looking at tens of millions of dollars of investment. Do you today invest tens of millions of dollars into a mining farm? Is that a smart thing to do? Their answer is now is the time to do it. Because we're coming in as a joint venture concept with them, and we are talking significant money. And they have to put significant money on the table as well, of course, to make this actually all happen. We're talking about warehouses of 100,000 square feet, maybe 10,000 square meters to 20,000 square meters in size, completely fitted out. So you're talking a very, very significant investment here. And to do that, you want to make sure that you're getting a return on your investment, aren't you? So, just like miners want to be able to get a return on their contracts, people who are building the mining farmers want to make sure that they get a return on them as well. Because mining contract, the hardware, the mining rig itself is only just one small component of it. There's a lot more than just the mining rig to build a mining farm, and significant costs and significant obligations to go to power companies, to landlords, to lease properties, even buy premises. But to build a 30 megawatt, 40 megawatt mining farm, it's like a small town. It's the same supply of maybe 30, 40 to 60,000 houses that would need. So you're talking a massive investment here. So we are very bullish, and we have a long-term view when it comes to Bitcoin. And its price and its adoption. Is there risk associated with it? Yes, but we believe it's a good calculated risk. And of course, we take a lot of guidance from Genesis. It's their core business. But of course, when you're speaking about this amount of money to be invested, of course, it makes us nervous. So we have to make sure we're doing things right, and we also have to make sure that we're partnered with the right people.
Let me put that into layman's terms, what you just said there, Bill. We're building, through Genesis, the partnership, we're building massive warehouses full of mining computers, 10,000 square meters in size, worth millions and millions and millions of dollars in infrastructure based on what our partner Genesis believes Bitcoin is going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years. That's a pretty massive statement, what you just said, that the members can now sort of just take in that Swiss Gold Global's done its due diligence. It knows where Bitcoin is going as a currency. It knows the adoption of Bitcoin is very, very low. It's only just over 30 million wallets around the world, which is nothing. It's just a drop in the ocean. But to partner and make a decision, well, you made a decision to actually build your own mining farm in conjunction with them and put millions of dollars of your own money in with Genesis as a partnership. That says a lot, Bill, that the members really need to soak up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's risk. I mean, it's easy to look at things in reverse. I mean, look at Amazon. If you go back to the 1990s, I mean, people were reluctant to invest in Amazon. In fact, I bet there was no one on this call that invested in Amazon, you know, all those years ago. I certainly didn't, because I didn't understand it. You know, the Amazon share price then was around $1, $1.10, $1.20. Today, it's just under $2,000 a share. So if you had invested some money in Amazon back then, understanding what you're getting yourself engaged, believed in the greater adoption of the products and services that Amazon could provide and the management that could actually do it, and you had a long-term vision, you know, you bought some shares at $1, $1.20, $1.30, maybe a couple of bucks, you're sitting on today just under 2,000, you would have done exceptionally well yourself. You would have certainly beaten all the markets. You would have done very, very well for yourself. And there's many people in that situation when it comes to Bitcoin, even till now, of course, but of course we're talking about now for the next 3 to 5 years. What is that growth? I mean, our contracts are 5 years long with a very low maintenance fee, and they're going to exist regardless, you know, of the maintenance fees. But of course, they can only pay out if the return is more than 14 cents per terahash, because that's the cost of mining it. So yeah, we're certainly bullish on it, and there's a lot of time and research going into it. Huge investment. And we're very excited about it, and yeah, we want to get it out. But it's just so many things, and all these regulatory changes that they sort of, in one sense, they do tend to sabotage the speed at that you would like to do things. But that doesn't stop us from moving forward. And of course, we're working on that. We're working on the ICO and dealing with lawyers. I mean, you want to do it right, but there's no perfect situation. But we want to try and do it as best as we can, with as much transparent information when it comes out, that people can read it, they can do their due diligence, they can ask questions, and if they want to, you know, just like put a few dollars into maybe, like some people did in Amazon, maybe this is an opportunity for them that they can have a win, just like Amazon did all those years ago. So, you know, let's see. But we're certainly very optimistic about it. But again, as I always say in these webcasts, you know, people have to understand there's risk associated with it, and you do not put more in than you should afford. So you've got to be it's really important actually, because the greed factor, and I saw it last year, and I saw it myself in the 1990s. When some of those stocks were rallying in the 1990s, I mean, the broker would ring me and say, do this, do that, Bill. I didn't think about it. I just gave him the money, you know. Everything's fine until things change. And I had no understanding of those underlying stocks. Now, I bet you there's people here who bought plenty of crypto coins, have no understanding of what those crypto coins are. Do we need another coin? Probably not. What's the underlying asset? What's the underlying technology? What's the underlying advantage of this particular new crypto coin that's coming to market? We have to ask these questions. Well, when things are going a bit crazy and very bullish, people don't think about that. They just want to get a return, and then they make silly decisions. So it's important to be balanced. Important to ask questions and research the management, research what it's about, who's behind it, how's it work, and what are the long-term projections on this? And that's how we like to operate.
Yeah. That's right. Now, we did have a question from Robbie just on the chat about, are we building a mining farm, Swiss Gold Global? So obviously Bill's answered that, Robbie, that yes, we are in conjunction with Genesis.
Well, let's say we're working with Genesis on that. We thought we would have been a lot further advanced right now, but we're not. But we're working with them, Robbie, on that, with the idea of building one. where that location is going to be. We're looking at different locations, not just in a particular country, multiple countries, in different states, in territories. Yeah, there's a lot to do, and of course Genesis will send out their scouts once we got the right locations. They'll send out their scouts. They'll analyze it. They'll come back to say this is a good one to go for. This is not a good one to go for. I mean, there's so many players involved in building a mining farm, and the contracts for sourcing electricity. I mean, especially the power side. I mean, you know, the consumption required is significant, and of course, the size of the farm you want to build, a lot of people can't supply the power. That's one thing, and certainly they're going to be able to provide it at the right price to make it viable. So, yeah, but we are. To answer the question is yes, we are in strong liaison and working with them to move forward and doing such a venture.
Yeah. All right. Well, I maybe ask Claudia. You have a good personal relationship with the Genesis guys. They've got 2 million members. We're in partnership with them. There's 3 owners that you know personally and get on extremely closely as far as the business relationship goes. Do you know how many staff they've got? Just out of interest, they got like.
I think I can't release it a lot, a lot, like massive. And I haven't been there really the last 6 months, so I don't know the last. I mean, they're just increasing so much. The last time I was, and then the time before, boy, they have like quadrupled or something like that. Right. I mean, they're growing huge.
Have you been to the Swedish?
No, farm? I didn't know. No, Bill didn't take me. No, I was in Panama.
Oh, right.
I didn't want to go to this cold. No, no way.
Yeah, it's snow up there. Yeah.
I just went to the Iceland one, but Bill went to Sweden one, and he said it's just so much bigger.
Yeah, just huge. All right. Okay. Well, we'll just check if we've got any more questions before we finish off there. Thank you, Bill. Robbie says thank you. Last chance, folks, on the chat to get any more questions. Now, we're heading to after Sydney. We're heading in a couple of days up to Brisbane, which is going to be Sunday. Now, you've been to Brisbane once, Claudia, or twice, or a few times with the gold and silver customers?
Yeah, I have been. I believe I've been once to Brisbane. One.
Last year?
No.
Before that?
Was I last year in Brisbane?
Yeah.
Of course.
With so our meeting there, Swiss Gold Global.
All right. Okay, forget it. Also, yeah, I was twice then in Brisbane. Twice, yes. Once where I had the incident with your favorite team, this incident with your All Blacks or whatever.
Oh, the All Blacks, yeah. No, the Wallaby rugby team. Yeah.
So and then
we don't want to talk about that.
We don't want to know. But anyway, so
and the wine is card.
Yeah, so I got some questions about also on my WhatsApp chat here from people who bought the contracts and in the beginning of the year and had to wait till March or April, and then with the new contracts. I believe the new contracts are very much still misunderstood in terms of the 14 cents, of course, per terahash, and because they have, of course, significantly increased in price, but of course the maintenance fee is very much lower. Now, this is my personal disclaimer here, my personal outlook is on Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will grow very, very much, very quicker than it went when it went last time up to $20,000. I don't believe it's going to happen very quick now, and I think it's going to happen maybe next year. But see, with those new contracts, so next year, when you have that, and when Bitcoin is going to rise, then of course you're going to be really happy. Right now, the people would bought the contracts maybe in March or maybe a little bit earlier to start in March. They're not so happy. Why? Well, because Bitcoin price just started dropping from January. But again, don't get so much sidetracked about that difficulty rate, of course, which is rising, and that price, which is still not there where it was. I believe this is going to go up very much, and then, of course, you're going to be happy. Now, people always say, oh, yeah, but if I would have bought Bitcoin, outright.
Bought and hold.
Or bought and hold, yeah. Well, the thing is that people always say, if I would have, but then would you have sold it when it was actually at $20,000? Probably not, because you were greedy and you were holding on, or you wanted to get it even higher. So this is always this if you would have not. Most people buy when the price is high. That's when most people buy. and then they get scared and they sell.
And lose.
And lose, exactly. So because people are not doing that, they're not buying when the price is cheap. So they are buying when the price is high. Now, so with those Bitcoin contracts for the 28 terahash, 28 cents per terahash, I believe long term, I mean, maybe we get to the point, not to scare you, but it could be we get to the point that we will be not profitable. I mean, hope not, fingers crossed, but it could be, because Bitcoin is still in the downtrend. But I see the long picture in that Bitcoin will go up, because when you just look at and you study a little bit and see, this is the thing, Bitcoin is not easy. It is not that simple. It is not easy. So there's so much development going on. There's so many everyday new things going on. It's a complex technology. It's a complex technology, and you have countries adopting it. And you know, adoption takes time. It's just not happening in a very short time. Adoption takes time. So people, okay, this morning when we went into the Uber driver, that young guy from Czechoslovakia, he had heard about Bitcoin. Now the ladies, I just went doing my hair from Korea, they first of all didn't, but then one of the colleagues, because I asked if you could pay with Bitcoin, and then one of the colleagues, of course I do always do that. So you know, again, it's still not mass adopted. It's still, yes, they have heard, but they still don't know. So this is going to take time. And as more it will be out there, as more people learn there, as more technology, as the technology in itself of Bitcoin will be developed, which they're developing greatly. More developers are developing in Bitcoin than in any other of these coins. So there's more brighter, smarter people in the Bitcoin technology. So I see a big vision on that, but it's just taking time. So we've got to sometimes be a bit patient. Yeah, patient,
The Uber driver I got into the city with, he was from the Philippines, and he said, what else do you do? I said, well, I'm a cloud miner with Bitcoin. He said, I'm a trader. I'm a Bitcoin trader. I said, oh, fantastic. How are you going and what are you doing? He said, oh, no. He was very negative that he wasn't making any money. I said, well, trading, do you use an automatic robotic system or do you do it physically yourself? He said, I do it physically. But then he said, if I don't trade at the right time, the price goes down, I lose money. I said, well, that's the whole idea of trading. You've got to put a lot of time and effort into buy and sell. I said, you can hold it, you can just leave it in your wallet, or you can do what I do, and that's by mining contracts, computer power, which is a part of a contract, and get paid Bitcoin every day and hold it and spend it if you want to. So that's the three differences that I always tell people about. You can trade, but you have to put a lot of time and effort in. Selling at the higher point, and then as it drops $100, buying back in and it goes back up $150, then selling. But these things happen within hours, or sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. If you're asleep, you miss the opportunity to buy and sell. So trading takes a lot of effort. I don't like putting effort in at 60 years of age. I want to take it easy and just earn part-time passively. That's why I like Swiss Gold Global so much. And then tell people about that, but you do have to be patient. There are only 30 million wallets in the world at the moment. So that's a drop in the ocean as far as people having Bitcoin wallets. You know, when we get to 50, 60, 80, 100 million people with wallets, then people will be buying and selling Bitcoin more, and then everybody will know about it and have some sort of interest, and their knowledge over the next, I believe, the next 6 to 12 months, people's knowledge of Bitcoin and the blockchain will just accelerate to the point where they're getting involved, going to meetings, going to find out. That's why we're encouraging people to come and chat to us now.
But also using Bitcoin. So the whole point of the concept, and this is again back to really, so what do we want? What do you want? Your listeners on the call, your people who got involved with Swiss Gold Global, got involved with Bitcoin. What do you actually want? I got involved with Bitcoin because of the concept of Bitcoin, which we have been preaching and teaching since a long time, sound money. So what is sound money? Well, sound money has been always gold and silver. Then Bitcoin came along. And so Bitcoin had a lot of things which is in common with that. It just greater technology, and that's of just the gold 2.0 basically. So Bitcoin is the future, but we've got to use it. So if we don't use our sound money and we still keeping back and using the fiat system, well, there's no point, really, is there? Mm-hmm. So we got to use more the Bitcoin. As when people start using more Bitcoin, but not converting Bitcoin back to fiat, no, using fiat, the ecosystem of fiat, which there are places where they accept, of course, Bitcoin, where you can buy your plane ticket or your hotel room, or like I was recently in Czechoslovakia, you can have your coffees and really with Bitcoin. Yep. And they only accept Bitcoin. They don't accept fiat. And they don't accept fiat. They don't transfer it back. They only work on Bitcoin. So as more people get actually to use the ecosystem of Bitcoin, not the back to fiat, then things will change. And this is still years away.
Years away, yeah. There'll be places here in Sydney that accept Bitcoin. I know, and Paul's pointed out that the Brisbane Airport are crypto-friendly, Paul. There's a couple of big articles on Brisbane Airport, isn't there, about being crypto-friendly?
Yeah, very much so. And then they push it that their cryptocurrency, more crypto with all their different coins. But also another town in Queensland called 1770, which is all crypto. So yeah, that it's spreading all over Queensland. I don't know much about it in New South Wales. Maybe when you're down there, you can go around to a lot of the shopping places and have a talk to them to see if they're taking crypto. But certainly Brisbane Airport is right up there. Yeah, go around with yeah.
I think I'll hire.
Go around there and say hello. I'm here with.
Roving reporter Claudia Eifert for Bitcoin TV. We can go through a few, especially the duty-free shops close to the harbour here, where they get a lot of international tourists. That'd be interesting. Yes, Paul. Very good. Now, final comments, Paul. Anything you want to let people know about the Gold Coast? They should be getting their act together and giving you a telephone call and saying, yes, definitely coming because I want to meet Paul, Bill and Claudia at the Gold Coast event. Any last thoughts, mate?
Yeah, come along and meet the winners from Swiss Gold Global. Come and have a talk about cryptocurrency. That's what we really want people to come and have a talk about. See how it works, create a wallet, and get involved with the future of money. That's what crypto is all about. So just ring me on 0432 715 498.
That number again, Paul?
0432 715 498. And you might get yourself some extra knives or slippers or something like that.
You'll throw those in Bitcoin slippers. Bill gave me a pair of Bitcoin socks. Thanks, Bill. It was that a late 60th birthday present, was it? My Bitcoin socks you gave me?
It wasn't a late one. It was your present, Keithy. But you know what?
Right.
For the Gold Coast meeting and the Brisbane meeting, and even the Sydney meeting, maybe we'll do a lucky draw for a Bitcoin contract giveaway, okay? And that could be a bit of fun because that's going to give maybe a new person gets to win it, and that gives them the ability to be able to get started and see how it all works. So, yeah, we could do that. You can work out how it's going to work out, Claudia and Keithy. But
did you say a terahash, Bill, or did you say one contract?
I said a contract.
Okay. All right. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, good. All right.
Well, it's all money.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It makes money. Pays out for 5 years. So, yeah, awesome.
It's going to keep going for 5 years.
Okay. All right. Final thoughts, Bill, about, coming up the next week, couple of weeks. What do you want people to think about, when they're turning up to the meetings? What sort of things should they be willing to ask, or what sort of attitude do you think they should be forming as they head into meeting you and Claudia?
Well, you know what? I've been a self-employed entrepreneur since 1986. And I think the most important thing is to have an open mind. The second point is that you've made the effort to go and meet some strangers, myself, Claudia, maybe even yourselves, Keithy and Paul, that people make the effort to go there and ask questions, do your due diligence, have courage. It's really, really important. If you want to change your life, well, you've got to change your life, and that means you've got to be able to step out. Now, it's unconditional. We're not going to put you in a headlock and try and extract money out of your pocket to buy a contract. Maybe Paul will do that. But it's really about getting to see who we are, okay? Having a trust, having faith, and understanding our purpose, and ask yourself the question, why do you want to be there? What are you looking forward to? Because I can remember meeting Robert Kiyosaki. Now, many people on this call would be familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
From Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, I can remember meeting him in 1998 in Melbourne. He was doing his Rich Dad book launch, 1,200 people in the room. He charged $50 a head so he could launch his book. Multiply that by $50. Not a bad business in itself, but, you know, then everyone bought a copy of his book, of course, on top of that. But anyway, he said this particular night, it was at the Sheraton in Melbourne, he said, tomorrow morning I'm going to put on my capitalist hat and teach people how to take a private company public. The minimum investment is $25,000 US, okay? It's going to take 5 years. It's not guaranteed, and don't put money in if you cannot afford to lose it. Well, you know what? Even if I didn't have the money, I made a decision I was going to be there and get the free knowledge. So I rolled up and I thought to myself, wow, there's 1,200 people in the room. I'm going to get there early because I want to get a seat and have a listen to what this guy's got to say. I rolled up there the next day. 9 people showed up out of 1,200. And I started thinking, no wonder people's lives don't change. They're not willing to get out of the comfort zone. Okay, in fairness, many would have had commitments to business and work and things like that and family. But 9 out of 1,200, I really couldn't believe it. I just shook my head. But no, be open and ask the questions and do the due diligence and get an understanding. You're getting involved in the hottest sector. This trend is not going to go away. Just like Amazon, it is where it is today. Its share price just under $2,000. You know, 25 years ago, it was under $2. Where will this go, Bitcoin, in the next 3, 5, 10 years? Do you want to be engaged with this peer-to-peer payment system that is seamless? It's bridging the world. Over 2 million people don't have, over 2 billion people around the world don't have bank accounts. Bitcoin is fantastic. I send thousands of dollars every week with Bitcoin. It costs me a few cents to do a transaction. Okay, it's not perfect, but it works, and it's much cheaper than when I send bank wires and different things like that, you know. It's not prejudice, it's permissionless. We can do transactions with each other and it works. Well, you just can't do that when it comes to banks doing transactions from one country to another. They scrutinize you, they shut you down. I've experienced it. So the world is changing. You've got to decide whether you want to be part of that change, be up to date with that change.
Okay, Bill, it's great words. And just to top that off, we streamlined the presentations to be between an hour and a half and 2 hours max. So all those times I've changed on the events there. We're starting tomorrow night at 7, probably finish about 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock. Very quick, swung in, lots of information. So I've got some pens and I've got some paper, so I'll be handing those out to people.
And you got that.
We've got the microphone there. Claudia be in the street, dragging people in. Come and see in. And then Brisbane, it's next Sunday at 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. max. You'll be out the door by 3. And then the Gold Coast will be on a Tuesday night. It's 7 p.m. Tuesday night to around about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then next door with the venue where Paul's got us, there's line dancing, isn't there, Paul? So we can all line up and do a bit of line dancing later on if you're keen. Is that right, Paul? No.
Oh, I don't think so, but I'll try and arrange it. There's a gymnasium right next door, so we can all go in there and do some exercises.
Forget about that, mate.
Oh.
Line dancing is much more fun.
No, salsa. But for you, Keithy, it would be the other one, which is the Kiwi dance.
The haka. Yeah. No, that'd scare too many people away, Claudia. Thank you, Claudia, for being the co-host today on our live. Thank you, Paul, from the Gold Coast up in there. Beautiful weather up there.
Yeah.
can't wait to get back to Queensland in a couple of days. So thank you, mate. Thanks for coming on today. Bill, as always, it's great to have you in good internet space. So you get great internet here in Australia.
Yeah. He must move here.
In Germany and wherever you're, Dubai, you never get good internet. Good internet in Australia, mate. So thanks for coming on, Bill. We'll see you later on, and we'll see you tomorrow. So thanks very much, Bill, for your time tonight.
It's great to be here. I look forward to seeing the people on our travels. So thank you so much, as always, Keithy. Great to see you, Paul. Look forward to seeing you in person. And, of course, we'll see you shortly, Claudia, for some dinner, and you too, Keithy.
Yeah, okay. We're up for that. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, folks. That's Hangout number 48 done. We've only got 4 to go, and that's 52 weeks, 1 year doing the Hangouts. So try and keep everyone informed of what's going on. Lots of things happening every week. So awesome. Thank you, Claudia, for being co-host.
We're going to do some interviews now?
Yeah, we can just wander down the road there and hopefully not get arrested. That'll be good. All right, folks. See you on the next one. Bye-bye for now. Take it easy.